prepared meals. And our biggest sponsor, eFoods Direct, is the longest continually operating storable foods company in the nation. They also happen to be true patriots and have supported the freedom movement for years. Find out more at efoodsdirect.com. Become self-sufficient. Become independent. Check out all the great meals, all the different food lines they have. This is the biggest outfit in the country and the best. 800-409-5633. 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com. Okay, I'm going to try to shut up now for a few minutes and get overall Bob Chapman's view of the economy in the next year, gold, the dollar, and then we're going to go to your calls. But first, Bob, the naked body scanners. Do you believe, as I do, this is an outrageous push to make people capitulate and submit to government? Because if you'll let them record your naked body, you'll put up with anything.
Psychological warfare. You've got it. You got it nailed. Phil Watson's two articles, the first two articles, and tomorrow's the end of the U.S. section on this body scanning. It's dreadful, but it is to demean people and bring them down to the level that they can be handled like cows or other kinds of animals. This is what it's all about, control, and this phony baloney African from Nigeria supposedly blowing up a plane. Give me a break. You've seen the background on this young man and his father, haven't you?
Oh, the whole thing's completely staged. The sharp-dressed man leading him on, the second bomber found, the FBI lied, now they admit it. I mean, this as they launch the body scanners, it happens. As they launch the attacks in Yemen, it happens, completely staged. Right as the cruisers and troops land, the bombing happens. I mean, perfect timing, same M.O.
That's correct. And, you know, every time that we and others put together all this information and expose it, and it gets all over the country and then all over the world, again, we've got them on the run. And I'm telling you, I truly believe this. We're killing them. They don't know which way to run. Everything they do just turns into a pile of dung. And this scanner thing, and isn't Chartoff on the board of one of these scanner companies?
Yeah, and he consults for the other one. He's making money hand over fist. He recommends it. He orders it before he leaves office. They build him, and then he makes money off of it.
Just a criminal enterprise. That's what Wall Street, banking, and our government are all about today. It's just right in your face. And they just don't care. They will care later when we get all of these people out of Congress who really shouldn't be there, who are on the take, and we can maybe have a decent government. And that's up to you listeners. You've got to get these people out of office, as many as possible, so we can have a shot at getting our country back. And if that doesn't work, we get serious problems.
Well, they fooled the public into thinking Obama was going to stop what Bush did. He accelerated it. This trick won't work many times. It is a one-trick pony. People are finally realizing there's a shadow government of private criminal corporations. And as people identify the real enemy, I really do see the momentum completely shifting in our direction. And the globalists, nothing they say is believed anymore, but they just continue with the fraud.
And that's going to dig the hole deeper for them legally. As far as lawsuits and criminal actions, they will come in time. Of course, unfortunately, a lot of them will die off, but it doesn't mean you can't go after their estates for all the money they've stolen. I mean, Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase and Citigroup are three blatant examples of real criminal enterprises. I mean, these people will stop at nothing. And I know what they're doing because I was in that industry for so long. I understand how it works and these things that they do. And, you know, the SEC is nothing but an appendage of Wall Street. They don't do anything to the large firms. They were told of Madoff's scam for 10 years, over and over and over again, and did nothing. And the reason why, it was a CIA Mossad operation. Mr. Madoff went to court. Nobody was allowed in except the attorneys. There was no evidence. There was no other people brought into the picture. I mean, there were hundreds of people involved in this thing. Hundreds of millions of dollars was stolen.
Are you kidding? $100 billion.
Yeah, that's right. The first figure I got was $140 billion. They claim it's 80 or 90. It doesn't make any difference. It's a lot of money, and a lot of innocent people got hurt.
And he's one of the founders of the NASDAQ. They're all involved in this stuff.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Bob Chapman, real fast before we go to calls, I want to go to calls. Gold, the dollar, all the economic numbers coming in. The media says everything's wonderful, but the real numbers show we are in a depression.
That's right. And we started it last February. So we got a recovery that doesn't exist. We got the Treasury and the Fed in serious trouble. We could be rid of the Fed by the end of the year. That could happen. We're looking at real inflation right now at 8.25%. It'll be over 14% by the end of the year, just what's in the pipeline. We're looking at 22.5% real unemployment. And John Williams' figures 22.7%. It'll be 25% by the end of the year, even with the stimuli that's in the economy. And I think the president's going to get another $400 or $500 billion to stimulate the economy going into the election. And so that's going to create even more inflation. Gold and silver, they've had their correction. That's normal. And they're going to go higher again. It's the only safe place to be with your money.
Yeah, Damon Vickers even agreed with that last hour. It seems like anybody with half a brain knows gold and silver is the place to be because it's not a bubble, because gold hasn't even gotten to half of its 1980 inflation level.
I buy every 2 or 3 weeks. Believe me. And you people out there should be doing the same thing. And if you're not, you just don't get it. And if you can't, please try to get dehydrated and freeze-dried foods in a water filter and be able to defend your family. And these are very important things because we don't know where this is all going. I mean, we might get lucky and clear out half of the crooks in Congress in the next election. We may get rid of the Fed. And if we do, we got a shot at getting our country back.
If we can identify the real enemy. It isn't Obama. Sure, we want him out. But it's the people that run him and the Republicans. We've got to get rid of the bankers.
That revolving door between Wall Street and Washington, it's got to be shut down. There's plenty of bright people all over the country who would be happy to be Secretary of the Treasury or the Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need Wall Street running our country.
And once you've identified the bankers and how they wreck things by design, when we kick them out of power and they try to sabotage the economy and we have evidence, we just send the FBI march in to arrest them.
Give them the frog work, that frog walk they call it. And let's put them away where they belong. I mean, you know, they take kids who got too much dope that they're selling and give them 10 years. I mean, these guys have stole billions of dollars, billions, and none of them ever go to jail. We got to change that. We got to put them in jail. We got to have to confiscate their ill-begotten gains, and that would be used to get rid of the deficit. And
instead, the bankers are now positioning for excise taxes and sales taxes, and they have Glenn Beck and all the other Fox people saying the conservative thing is more taxes. Talk about a bait and switch.
Yeah, well, it's not more taxes, it's less spending. And it's purging the system. Von Mises, von Hayek, Rothbard, that's the answer. Classical economics. Let's bite the bullet. Let's tell the people the truth. Let's tell them what these people have done to us. And let's suffer for 4 or 5 years when we could have only suffered for 2. But now we're going to have to do 4 or 5 years. And we got to pick ourselves up as Americans and make our country work again and get rid of these dreadful people.
It's like getting off of booze. If you're drinking a half gallon of whiskey every day, it's going to hurt when you quit it. But if you don't quit it, it's going to kill you.
Well, at the rate we're going to see real estate prices, residential, down another 10 or 20% this year. You should see what's coming down the line in these option arms. The amount of money is 3 or 4 times what it was in these subprimes. On top of that, you have all of these homes that are in inventory that the banks won't put on for sale because there's too many of them out there. And it goes on and on. Commercial real estate, the banks will not lend to